because there is no indemnitor. So I come up with my addendum attachment. On the addendum attachment, put in plain language that all of my contract obligations are and will be handled appropriately, which they will be, and if I don't, I will be in trouble. The promissory note, balance is paid in full already. There's no indemnitor. The promissory note's good to go. We've already gone over that, but I'm just reiterating. And then here's the best part. There's no depositor. I shouldn't have even been in jail. There is nobody laying claim to have deposited to me. I was just kind of magically there. So these people with no indemnitor and no depositor, so no one to have put me in the situation, and no one to cover the other party's liabilities, the indemnification, they've taken it upon themselves to issue a bond, which was paid in full on my release, with no other parties involved. There's no indemnitor, there's no depositor. So I'm not under any obligation to any depositor, because there isn't one. I'm not under any obligation to any indemnitor, because there isn't one. And so it comes down to my obligations in this indemnity agreement and what I owe to All-Pro, which isn't an amount of money because they've already been paid in full, but it does say in these clauses that I have to make sure that they don't receive any additional increase or liabilities, losses, costs, or damages and expenses. Now, if the collateral received by the second party, so if the collateral received by All-Pro is in excess of the bail forfeited, so if $601 is received as compared to the excess of $599 being forfeited, such excess shall be returned to the depositor. Upon the application of the collateral to be forfeiture. Well, there's no depositor signing for me, so there's no excess me to be returned to the depositor because they're not a depositor. And so collateral forfeiture, subject to any claim of second party and surety for unpaid premium or the here and above charges. Well, they don't have a depositor to bring me back to them to hold me liable. So I just have to go in and pay for process fees. And since there's no depositor, no indemnitor, all of my contract obligations will have been met. Period, end of story. All I gotta do is go in, ask for summary judgment, show the court that I have no depositor, so I have no obligation to be there for the depositor, because there's no obligation on the depositor. I can prove easily that through the incorporation, All Pro received their principal payment in full from themselves effectively, because they're double dipping here. They're doing their own undersigning for the surety. And that's not my fault that they did it that way. And they're not going to lose any money, so they're not paying for any of the filing fees. They've already been through the incorporation on their own, and their whole, their whole scheme. All their costs will be covered. They won't actually lose anything. But there's no depositor that they owe any contract obligation to, and there's no indemnitor. They chose to operate without indemnification for themselves. So they took on the issuance of a bond with no depositor and no indemnification. That's not my fault. Period, end of story. So I'm going to go in. I'm going to give All Pro bail bonds a single dollar as to skew the balance, so there's no excess that they would lose through what should be the depositor and the indemnification. But since they don't exist, there isn't any excess amount to offset what they've already been given as collateral put down. They've already received their full principal payment upon my release, and I'm going to pay for the administrative fees to get this all handled for them. I'm actually doing them a favor, because they won't even have to show up to court anymore. I'm just going to be able to walk out with the summary judgment, go back to the office, hand it to them, and I'll be done. What do you guys think about that? I think I'm spot on. And then if they do want to complain, I'll be like, okay, that's cool. You're the one that created any liability with your legal title that you created in my name, which means that I'm the equitable title holder. I gain equity value for you trading on my name, me allowing you to do that. Like, I don't see what the issue is. I don't see how I'm liable for this. They've already been paid. It states on multiple other pieces of paper that they were already paid in full. So how am I going to be liable for the legal title they created that I hold the equity in, which they've already been paid in full for?